The introductory phase of a group discussion includes motivating the group by explaining why they should participate and listen to the topic, and providing an overview of what they are going to discuss. For example, in this scenario, the agenda is reviewed to explain areas for discussion, such as the main points and subpoints, establish guidelines, and employ a visual aid to display main discussion points if required.
I'd like to welcome everyone to discuss our upcoming Cadet Merit Board. And as you all know, it's a very important event for our cadets. And I really appreciate everybody's time and contribution in regards to this activity. And of course, I really welcome everybody's input into that regards. Feel free to ask questions, bring in comments, participate in the discussions. And if I could draw your attention to the agenda that I've provided. Now, during today's meeting, we're going to talk about the location, the timings, and support. And I was just wanting to know if there's any other order of business that we want to add at this point.
Yes, sir. I'd like to add one more item.
Okay.
We've got another activity plan, and it may conflict with the activity we're talking about today, sir.
Okay. All right. So if we could add other activity as item number 4 on the agenda. And if I could have a motion to accept the agenda as revised.
I move to accept the agenda as revised.
Okay.
I second that motion.
Fantastic. All in favor? All right, carried. So let's carry on with new business.
The body phase of a group discussion includes posing questions, which include open-ended questions, close-ended questions, and probing questions. The body phase of a group discussion also includes controlling the discussion by encouraging participation, recognizing the channels of communication, intervening as required, paraphrasing questions or ideas from the meeting participants, reflecting feelings, and summarizing the discussion.
Okay, the Cadet Merit Board is scheduled for June 15th here at the Cadet Unit. And what I want is the board to convene in classroom number 1, have the classroom set up with a table in the middle, the board on one side, and the cadets on the other side. The cadet mess is booked for cadets that are not gathered in front of the board. Sebastian, have you received a confirmation?
Yes, sir, I have. It is confirmed.
Okay. Now, any other questions regarding location?
Well, I know that sometimes parking is a problem. Could we possibly use the staff parking for that day?
That's an excellent point. It can be a real issue. Now, could you check on that, Sebastian?
Yeah, will do, sir. I'll let everyone know about the parking.
Okay. So we can move on to timings? Okay. All right. Now, the Cadet Merit Board is scheduled to start at 1300 hours. What I would want to ask everyone is to be here 30 minutes prior to that so that we can set it up. And I anticipate that the board would be finished by 1600 hours. Everyone okay with those timings? Okay, so if there's nothing on timings, let's move on to support. I'm going to have a duty officer that's going to be supervising the cadets while we're convening in the merit board. And on that board is myself, the ACO, and the president of our sponsoring committee, Patrick. And I know the sponsoring committee has volunteered to provide some refreshments. Can you speak to that, Patrick?
Certainly. Elizabeth and her husband have volunteered to bring and serve refreshments to the cadets that day. They just need access to the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's no problem. The kitchen's already booked. As well, I'll have a few cadets available to help out, sir.
Okay, thanks, Sebastian. Anything further on support? All right, so if there's not, well, let's look at the final agenda item, the other activity. Pierre, could you update on that?
Yes, sir. As you might know, there's a drill team practice scheduled for that day. Mm-hmm. 2 of the cadets who are sitting on the board are members of the drill team. So I'd like to ask that they sit their boards towards the end of the day, as our practice will be over by then.
Okay. All right. That will not be a problem. I'll take a note of that. If you could give me their names, yes, sir, prior to the end, it would be helpful. Anything else? Okay.
The conclusion phase of a group discussion includes a final summary, That includes a review of the main points and provision of any additional support material, remotivation, closure, and follow-up. For example, in this scenario, minutes of the meeting are distributed to meeting participants.
All right, so that concludes everything on the agenda. We've covered the location, the timings, support, and the other activities for the Cadet Merit Board. I really want to thank everyone for their help. It's a very important day for the cadets, and your support is greatly appreciated. And I'll make sure that I have all the minutes out to you by the end of the week. So we'll see you on the 15th. Thank you, everyone.